Tomorrow night, Leeds United are set to face off against Brentford in what could be a pretty important match. We've got 8 games left of the season. Daniel Farke reckons we need to win 2 of those. I think we need 6 or 7 points. And I think we can pick up a pretty damn good 3 tomorrow if everything comes together. And that's what we're going to talk about in this preview. We're going to talk about what the Leeds United squad news is, what we can sort of maybe expect out of the lineup. We'll talk a little bit about how Brentford play, then go into sort of what we need to see in order for things to work out for Leeds United in this match. And I'm going to start off with the Leeds United team news, but before I do, just subscribe to the channel. It's a button down there, and if it says subscribe, you're not subscribed yet. And I know for a fact that there are people who watch me like every video that aren't. So just boop, press the button. Be lovely. Anyway, getting into it. When it comes to injury news, for a while now, there's been the occasional bit of illness and stuff like that, but the only actual significant injury has been Noah Okafor, with some issues with, I believe it's his hips that were causing him some issues. Daniel Farke has now revealed that Noah Okafor's hips are working just fine and dandy. He's in team training, and as we all know, with the way that Daniel Farke tends to work, if someone is in team training, they will be eligible to play whatever match comes next. So in this case, he's going to be available for the squad, might be available to start. My one concern is that he's not really played yet, and Daniel Farke isn't someone to like throw a player in that hasn't played for a significant amount of time without the opportunity to get up to speed a little bit and get their like match legs. I think it'll be a case of seeing him a couple of times off the bench, then we'll be able to see Noah Okafor starting again. It's going to be important to see him doing so, because with him on the pitch, we score something like every 58 minutes. With him not on the pitch, we score every 100 and something minutes. He's very important to the way that we attack. He creates chances, he draws defenders. He's going to be key once he is properly back, but we'll find out if that's the case. Everyone is available for selection except for Gabby Gudmundsson, which is really kind of sad. Sorry. Still getting over a bit of a cold, and I've got like a little bit of congestion going on, which is really uncomfortable, so I may have to deal with that. The Gabby Gudmundsson thing is really annoying because this is the first competitive game I'll be able to go to since we signed him, and it's the first competitive game that he is properly unavailable for since we signed him, and he's one of my favourite new players, so that kind of sucks. But we'll have James Justin there in his stead as part of that back five, is my suspicion. What happens in front of that is a little bit more of a question mark, but it's a question mark that I will get into as we go on. From what Brentford are expected to do, they typically play in a bit of a 4-2-3-1 formation. They like to pack out that midfield, which is something that makes complete sense in my opinion. They're quite good at that, and they are remarkably good against set pieces. In terms of set pieces that they score, less often than some other Premier League sides. Like, sure, they're reasonably good, but there aren't any Premier League sides at the moment that aren't reasonably good at set pieces. It's at defending where they sort of excel, because, well, their manager is a former set piece coach, therefore he's very, very good at doing the whole sort of be here and therefore your opponents won't be able to put a man there and that'll make things significantly easier for us shebang. Basically, quite good at the defensive side of it, and the issue with this is it tends to open them up in other areas of their game. If they put that much effort into defending set pieces, then they're going to put less effort into other things. And one of the key weaknesses of Brentford is they're quite poor at defending against sides that play fairly wide against them. So if you hit them on the wings, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble, and that is especially the case since they are missing a couple of key players in those areas, particularly both of their starting left backs. So Hickey, not available. Behind him, Rico Henry, not available. So when it comes to picking a left back, they're going to potentially be in a little bit of trouble. Michael Coyote is very likely to be available. Michael Coyote is, in my opinion, one of the better right backs in the league, and it's a little bit of a shame that we haven't signed him. But then again, I really like Jaden Bogle. In terms of other injuries that they are struggling with, let's have another little bit of a look. Fabio Carvalho is still out for a very, very long time, but we knew that was going to be the case. Josh Da Silva is in, again, not available, which is quite nice. Janelt is a severe doubt, and Mikkel Damsgaard is also a bit of a, I'll quote this, concern. I haven't spoken to the medics yet. I think it's his knee. He picked up a knock a few weeks ago versus Forest. It's been frustrating. He's played through a lot of pain. We'll have to see how he is. So all of that being added up makes him a little bit of a doubt as well, which weakens their midfield, which is somewhere that they sort of rely on, because that 4-2-3-1 means that you really need a solid pair and centre of the three, with quite a lot of key players missing. That's a very positive sign for us. This sort of raft of injuries has proven itself because they are on relatively poor form. Played against Burnley, just about squeaked a 4-3 victory, and let's be honest, Burnley looked quite good in that game, which is not a good sign for Brentford in the slightest. Against West Ham, they got knocked out of the FA Cup. Against Wolves, they were beaten. That was a fun hiccup. Against Wolves, they were beaten, and they, I believe, also lost to Forest recently. That was sort of late January. So whilst they have been on this significant upswing and everyone was like, Keith Andrews is a genius and he's brilliant and he can do no wrong, we're starting to see that he can in fact do some wrong, and thankfully he's doing quite wrong against those sides that are lower in the division. And it seems to be because most of those teams are neutralising Igor Thiago a little bit. And that means that the game opens up a little bit because Brentford need to target other areas, and that means that the structure dissolves a little bit, which set piece coaches are sort of reliant on structure. They're reliant on this is what a game looks like in this very moment, hence corners, free kicks, all this kind of stuff. So when you're able to sort of debase it a little bit and sort of melt things down a touch and make sure that things don't go to plan, you get a little bit less adaptability, which is going to be absolutely beneficial for us. The lineup I'm predicting is, I think it'll be the same as the last match. I think it'll be Metcher and Calvert-Lewin up top, because I don't believe that Daniel Farke will think that Okafor is ready to play. They'll have presumably Aronson behind, with the two holding midfielders, Stack and Ampadu, who will be able to do box-to-boxy things. For me, that was a fine enough lineup in the last match until the red card happened, completely out of Daniel Farke's control, but that is how it is. And I think if we had that lineup for both halves, we would have been in a very, very, very comfortable position and very, very happy, to be honest, to just keep things chugging along. Not to be the case, but I think he'll give it a shot in the same structure against Brentford. However, it's not what I'd personally want, because I've got a list of 5 things that I want to see. The first of those is the use of wide attackers. If we're able to have Okafor and Aronson doing the wide job, then you're putting their fullbacks to work and making things very, very, very difficult for them. You add on to that the fact that we've got our wingbacks going on. Those wide attackers can cut inside a little bit, cause issues for centre-backs, open up space for Calvert-Lewin a little bit more. I think what we've been missing is Okafor more than anything else, or at least a dangerous threat out on the left flank. And it would be, in my opinion, a bit of a mistake for him to be back and not to use him. But I understand why Daniel Farke won't necessarily want to rush him back. I also kind of want to see us make the midfield a brutal area of the pitch. I want us to make it difficult to break us down and to push through us, and if we're able to do that, then this whole sort of 4-2-3-1 that's been effective for them might be something they have to try and move away from, which will open the gates to a better opportunity for us. And we only get to make that midfield brutal if the third thing that I want to see happen does, which is isolating Igor Thiago. We know he's a ridiculously good centre-forward. He scored something like 19 goals so far this season, which is, frankly, obscene. That's Haaland numbers if Haaland was more of a human being. But if we're able to slow that down and we're able to stop that, then even better, because that means that they're looking to those other sort of outlets that they've got, and the other outlets aren't as good, which is why they're not on 19 goals, and that's how we force that midfield battle, because they're going to have to play through the centre of the park a little bit more. The 2 other things that I've hoped for, one of them is a competent referee, because it feels like at least the last 3 games, maybe a bit longer, we've had referees that have actively changed the outcome of matches based on key individual moments, and just that not being the case would be nice. If we lose, fine, as long as it's fair and square, because God, I'm tired of it being sort of robbed. If we win, again, I hope it's fair and square, because that proves that we're playing pretty damn well and we're earning our place in this league. And if we're able to do so, the 5th thing that I want to see is Elland Road absolutely bouncing, because it's been a while since I've been to Elland Road for a competitive fixture. And whilst I'm not sort of amongst it because I've got a press box spot with work, I'm kind of hopeful to sort of be able to soak it in, because I miss Elland Road, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, because I like being a little bit positive. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm planning on doing a vlog for the match day. What I'm able to do is a bit of a question mark, because I'm not sure what I'm actually allowed to record up there and what I'm not allowed to record, so it might be stuff surrounding the match and a little bit of post-match analysis. We will see. Let me know what you want to see from it, actually, because I'm kind of curious. But yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, pop a like on the video, comment what you think the score's going to be, subscribe if you haven't yet, even become a channel member. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Doodaloo, amigos.